The Longbox Crusade presents
Action Film Face-Off.
This episode, it's 1971 versus 1987.
Two films enter.
One film leaves.
Two men enter. One man leaves. Two men enter. One man leaves. Two men enter. One man leaves. Two men enter. One man leaves.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits.
Oh, man. Welcome to Action Film Face-Off, where the intro might have sounded a little different, but it's because it's our special guest's birthday, so we let him read the first line. Anyway, Action Film Face-Off, or whatever it's called. This show right here is where two random years are selected. My brother brings an action film from one random year. I bring one from the other random year. Those two films do battle using a variety of criteria, and a champion is going to be crowned by the end of the episode. I am Jared Albrecht with Death Probe. My co-host is my brother Jason the Weasel Skull. We're both military combat vets who take our action seriously, but not too seriously. We're going to have some fun. Jason, what kind of episode do we have going on today? Half blind free. I'd never seen Red Sun. I'd seen Assassination, but it has been since 1987 that I saw Assassination. What about you?
Exactly the same. Well, I saw Assassination with you back in 1987.
Yeah, we sat next to each other at the theater in 1987 when we saw that movie. That's amazing.
This was the first time for me seeing Red Sun.
Nice.
All right. Yes, indeed. We're going to score each of today's films on a scale of 1 to 10 in 5 categories. Those categories are the story, overall spectacle, best action scene, the hero, and the villain. And it's still not in that order. We refuse. I mean, at this point, I think you all would be disappointed in us if we put it in order. So we're going to keep going, keeping this out of order. But we will always end up with that deduction round, or up to 10 points can be minused from the film's total for whatever we determine is the low point of the movie.
Thank you, Jason. Today we are joined by a sniper, and the sniper has just 1 point to give in each category. So the sniper can sway the scoring by a total of 5 points. Let's meet our sniper for this episode. It is the host of the G.I. Joe podcast, the Chaplain's Assistant Motor Pod, and friend of the show and Crusaders Club member. It is Gary V. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Hi, it's great to be here. This is awesome. Long-time listener, first-time sniper.
Love it. And just for everybody who's listening on air, we did it before we clicked record, but happy birthday, Gary. Spending his birthday on Action Film Face-Off.
Oh, thank you again.
It's our pleasure. We're happy to have you here. Gary, you're a first-time guest, so you get to regale us with your top 3 action films of all time. And I know that's difficult, but what bubbles to your brain, Gary? What are your top 3?
Easy. Number 1 is Road Warrior. That is by far my favorite action movie of all time. 2 and 3 are hard. I actually spent most of the day thinking about this, and I came up with really 2 1987 films. The first one being Predator. I love some Predator. Then the other one is something I recently watched for the first time in its entirety, and I got to go with RoboCop.
I mean, that's correct, but
just now? You just now watched it?
Yeah, just before it hit. No. At Free Comic Book Day, I was gifted a copy of the RoboCop Blu-ray. So I sat down and watched it. I'm like, this is awesome. Oh,
yeah. It's one of the greatest 80s movies, period. Just period. I love that movie. I love it. It's just now watching RoboCop. Well, I mean, he watched it, so I mean, we can't bust his ball. He watched
it. Was like, like your pop culture blind spot.
Yeah, we all have it.
No, we all have it.
We all have them. I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who. I've never seen a Godfather movie.
Kathy will tell you Fast and Furious just isn't in our wheelhouse.
Never seen Fast and Furious. So just trying to change that. But anyway, all right. Now, before our 2 films enter the Videodome arena, we are thrilled to kick off this episode with special shout-outs to Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks who have joined our crusade. They enjoy early access to special long box episodes. They get to vote on show content. They get priority seating to be guests on the show like our friend Gary here, and so much more. These are the folks who are reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. Wright.
Angelica Wolf.
Oh. Auburn Elvis.
Bill Beer.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood,
Carrie,
Clinton Robinson,
Captain Entropy,
Clark Westfield,
Comic Foil,
Dave Collins, Battlewagon,
Eric Hodges,
Eric Porter,
Ezra Gallo,
Gary V. That's
Hey.
me.
Hey, Gene Hendricks,
George Meal,
Gerald Green,
Heinz K,
Django Unfettered,
Jason Keene,
Jason Lady,
Jeff Polier,
Jim Jarman,
Jim Beal,
Joe Man Conan,
Joe Thomas,
John Watson,
Josh Strickland,
Candace Ward,
Captivating Kathy Bright, the MVP,
Matt and Lissy Paso,
Mark Ross,
Michael Wagner,
Miranda W.,
P.D. Devons,
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present,
Ronald Easterday,
Rob Morgan,
Scott,
Sean Urbanski,
Snake Plissken,
Spidey 67,
Spreadsheet, still counting on you,
Steve Cronin,
Steve Martin,
Tim Price,
Tony Pennington,
and Toronto Cop. If we miss anyone on our list, we apologize. Keep in mind, we record these episodes well in advance for release, so if you're a recent edition, we'll add you soon, but no worries. If we missed you, send an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com, letting Pat know just how much you hate him, and we will get it all straightened out. So you might be asking yourself, how do I become a Crusaders Club member? It's very simple. Go to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to the amazing world of Crusaders Club. We would appreciate it. We have a great group of folks over there that are always carrying on a cool conversation. Come check it out.
We got that nonsense out of the way. These two films are dope, so let's talk some Charlie Bronson and get some rope.
As soon as you said dope, I knew where we were headed.
And learn a bit about the film Gladiators about to battle for your pleasure.
This episode, I was assigned the year of 1971. It's an important year to the show. And I selected Red Sun. What year did the randomizer select for you, Jason?
Well, I got 1987 and put into our Videodome arena, Assassination.
All right, we have a fine matchup for this one, folks. Now, it's important to point out that this isn't Jared versus Jason. We each had to select from our assigned year, so I might very well like his selection better than mine or vice versa. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at my own scores. I don't know which one I liked better, but I liked them both. Anyways, this is about us discussing some beloved action films and coming to a consensus on which one is this episode's champion. Let's do a quick around the room on where we saw it. Jason and I have already revealed we saw Assassination in 1987 in the movie theater. I just watched Red Sun. I got it on my Plex. Jason, how did you watch Red Sun?
You know, I just rented them both off of Apple TV, and I think they were $3.99 each.
Okay, standard $4 price tag for the rentals. Gary, how did you catch these flicks?
I apparently was in sync with Jason. I did exactly the same thing. The old Apple.
Yeah, following the rules, paying for your stuff, not illegal downloading it, put it on your Plex server. It's very good.
We're fancy, big spenders. You got time for those commercials, you know what I mean?
Okay, folks, with that, here is your spoiler warning. We're going to take a quick Q106.5 dance break, and on the other side of that dance break, spoilers are inbound. So if you have not seen Red Sun or Assassination, get to it by the end of the dance break.
Discover the legendary Q106.5 in your car, on your smart speaker, on your phone. Browse to Q1065.com. 80s, 90s. This is a radio station with a vibe. Download our app or listen online. Search at Q1065 Radio on social media. The Q is your favorite radio station. Discover Q106.5 and hear the 80s and 90s hits on the radio station with personality. Q106.5.
All right, folks, let me jump in with some quick info on 1971's Red Sun.
He stole from us something very precious. It is a matter of honor that it be returned to us.
You will not escape.
Don't you bet on that. Looks to me like you get tired. You understand? I've just got to kill you.
I understand. You must try.
Red Sun.
Cast and crew is as follows. It's got Charles Bronson, Toshiro Mifune, Ursula Andress, and Alain Delon. Is directed by Terrence Maurice Feldman Young, near and dear to Jason and I's hearts. Synopsis goes a little something like this. Link is an outlaw with a pretty good plan to rob a train. Unfortunately for him, he's betrayed by his overly enthusiastic partner, Gauche. During the robbery, Ghosh not only betrays Link, but he murders a Japanese diplomatic guardsman on the train and steals their ceremonial sword. Yeah, Ghosh is kind of a jerk. The remaining samurai guardsman makes an unlikely duo with the betrayed Link, and both head towards Ghosh for money, revenge, and honor. Here's your trivia. This movie made Charles Bronson a huge star in Japan. Around this time, Bronson also did an ad for a Japanese cologne, for which he earned $100,000 for just 4 days' work. Item number 2. The Japanese ambassador was played by Tetsu Nakamura, a Japanese actor known for his excellent command of the English language. It is believed that he coached the non-English speaking Toshiro Mifune for the English dialogue that was required of him. Third and final. In this movie, we have one actor from The Seven Samurai in 1954. That was, of course, Toshiro Mifune. And one actor from its remake, The Magnificent Seven from 1960, which is Charles Bronson. Over to you, Jason.
And now I will give you the rundown on 1987's Assassination.
The government has a secret weapon. Charles Bronson is Special Agent Killian, assigned to protect the president's wife from a killer she never suspected.
Terror is a very expensive game. Has it ever occurred to you that the president wants you dead?
Bronson, Assassination.
It starred Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland, and it was directed by Peter Hunt. Another Bond connection. In order to protect a shameful secret that his wife's about to leave the new president, a duplicitous national security advisor hires a terrorist network to murder the first lady. Unfortunately for them, J. Killian is leading her Secret Service detail. Unfortunately for Killy, the first lady is a battle axe and hates his guts. The bad guys might just have to kick back and relax and let those two just kill each other. All right, my trivia goes a little something like this. In the love scene between Killy and Charlie, actress Jan Gan Boyd contracted to do the scene nude. She became uncomfortable with the idea, and Charles Bronson helped her get out of the commitment by adamantly saying that he wouldn't film the scene unless Jan was comfortable. Bronson originally considered doing a sequel, but the death of his wife and co-star Jill Ireland understandably ended his interest. And I thought this was interesting because this 1987 was about the same time as those PG-13 ratings, and this was the only Bronson movie in his career to ever receive a PG-13 rating.
He's kind of an R guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think they said he was either R or PG, you know.
Oh, he did PG films too.
He did some PG films too, yeah. And now that we have the basics on today's contestants.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Test your might.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Fight.
It's a street fight.
Here we go, folks. Let's get your guesses in for Match Game. We have 2 films, 5 categories. Jason has not seen my scores. I have not seen his. How often are we going to match, folks? You make a guess. Gary, you can make a live guess. How many matches do you think Jason and I are going to have today?
I did binge listen to some action film face-offs before coming in to be well prepared.
Appreciate it.
I really wanted to see how you, Jared, and you, Jason, how you guys matched up. And this is going to be really tough. So I'm going to just throw a stab out there. I'm going to say 4 match games.
All right. You never can tell. We've had episodes where we've matched everyone. We've had episodes where we matched like twice. You know, it's weird.
I have a feeling we're not going to match on this one as much.
You know what? It's almost like every time a Canon film comes up, and we've got one here, I reward Canon films much more than Jason does. So we'll see.
I might be high.
Yeah, we'll find out. All right. Speaking of scores, let's set your score barometer, listeners at home. On this show, if we give it a 5, that means it's average. It's okay. It's right down the middle. You see it on a decent made-for-TV movie, it gets by. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got yourself a really good movie. 4, 3, 2, 1. You got things to work on. Having said that, let's get in round 1.
Put the knife away and shut your mouth.
Round 1, we're going to talk about just the story of each of these films. We're going to start with Red Son in 1971. And we're going to see how engaging, how original was the story. We're going to start with Gary. Gary, what are your thoughts on the story of Red Son?
The story of Red Son was really engaging. I like the period piece, the Western, and I really like the take on it with the Japanese diplomat coming on to present the president with a ceremonial sword. Very true to Japanese culture, they're honor bound to see the sword get delivered to Washington, D.C. It felt like there was real stakes. Obviously, it was fiction, but it was pulled from history. So it felt grounded. And for me, that was very engaging. The premise was original, but it wasn't far-fetched. I don't know. I just really liked it. I really enjoyed the story of Red Son.
I concur wholeheartedly, man. I like your thoughts on that. Let's go to Jason and see what he thought. As a guy who loves his history, his samurai, and his Charlie Bronson, there's a lot to like here. What do you got, Jason?
Man, you said it all, Jared. As I often do, I took a look at the Rotten Tomatoes score on this film. 40%.
That's ridiculous.
% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's nuts.
That is insane. I sat and I wondered on this because as I watched this, I thought Jackie Chan was watching this movie when he was inspired for Rush Hour and Shanghai Nights. This, I would bet money that this is what this was an influence.
I see it.
Because this was like one of those early East meets West, and it's two great actors. I mean, it is two great, and we'll get into that in the hero detail a little bit more. But I guess what I want to say is, number one, this is a foundational story that I never even knew existed, that we see all these genres like it today. And I'm sure that there were probably others before it, but like this is kind of like a hidden gem for me. So this is touching some of my deep feels here, and it's Terrence Young directing it. And, we'll get into that a little bit more in Spectacle, but basically just focusing on the story, it was so wonderfully told. There wasn't a moment that seemed forced. I got to know these characters on their journey across the desert. I had a sense of tension just by those knots that he has to unwrap, because if he doesn't, he has to unwrap that one knot a day. And if he hasn't found that sword and returned it by the time those knots are out, he takes his own life. And I thought that is just really compelling. There wasn't any long, drawn out, monologues or anything. You just learn who these people are by their actions throughout the course of the story. And by the end of it, it is a complete arc, and nothing feels forced. Nothing feels unreal. It was just really well scripted, well acted, well directed. I'm sitting here boggled, like 40%.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
That'd be like giving it a 4 out of 10 on our show. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Crazy. All right. Now let's get into a canon mindset and go to 1987. And our boy Charlie is back in Assassination. Gary.
Okay, so Canon Films Assassination. Very different than Red Son. The story-wise was a little disjointed in the beginning. I know what they were trying to do by building up for the audience to ask the questions, why is the First Lady the target of the assassination? And them trying to develop the relationship between her and the Secret Service agent, Charles Bronson. It was kind of, the best word I have for that is like janky. It wasn't smooth. And the love scene between Killy and Charlie just seemed out of nowhere, not really purposeful for the plot or the story. It was just like, oh, this is part of the thing. I also thought Killy as the nickname was just kind of ridiculous. But as it moved on, I felt the story flowed better. But the impact from the beginning of me not being drawn into the movie, the ending didn't feel as satisfying because it felt like it was like jackhammered to get there. And then when it started flowing, it just was like, it wasn't at that point where it should have been like aha moments. This is who's behind the assassinations. And this is why we want the First Lady dead. And some of the choices during the story were just, mind boggling. The First Lady's like, I'm going to ride in a convertible. And they're like, we haven't ridden a convertible since November of 1963. Just the fact that the First Lady was able to dictate to the Secret Service how she was going to be riding to the inauguration. And I know you both are military veterans. Like, that is just completely, that just blew my mind. Because, like, nowhere in the United States would that actually happen. You know, it's just some odd choices. Like I said, it just felt like the beginning of the movie was just jackhammered to get the point home that she's under attack. And it hurt the ending for me. And that's what I got to say about the story.
Okay, we don't speak unkindly about canon films on this show, Gary. Over to Jason.
Jared, I got to largely agree with what Gary was laying down. Take us back in time to 1987. You and I are in the theater in Fulda, I believe. I think that's where we saw it. In Fulda. I remember leaving there thinking, I was a little underwhelmed by this film. And so when I watched it again here all these years later, I was wondering, will my attitude change? And I felt largely the same as I did in 1987. And I think it's for a lot of the reasons Gary laid out. It seemed like this movie didn't know if it wanted to be an action film or a political thriller. And it kind of didn't land both. The action scenes were a little underwhelming for me, and it could have been a good political thriller. There were the bones of a good story here, kind of seemed to lose direction. And when I researched it a little bit, I think they wanted to be more of an action film, but they ran out of budget. So there were more action scenes and they had to trim them down. And so I think they tried to fill that gap with a little bit more political thriller elements, but they just didn't have a fully fleshed out story. So, there's enough, to be serviceable and entertaining, but Elite, no, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay. I see.
That's why, Gary, I'm saying I don't think Jared and I are going to match much.
Jared
I didn't know if this is all the section where I can be like, can I talk about how the fact that we had bullet sound effects and I was not seeing any muzzle flash from the Uzis during the main action scene?
You hold that till spectacle.
Fine. I will hold that.
Put a pin in it.
I got to boost these numbers on Assassination real quick. All right. Speaking of numbers, let's score these. Jason, Red Sun story, 1 to 10.
Compelling character-driven arc, precursor to the Rush Hour series and the Shanghai series, 8 for me.
Off to the races, match game number 1. I also scored it an 8. I agree with you largely on all those things. It's a hidden gem of a film. Assassination 1987, 1 to 10. Jason?
Charlie Bronson said, put this film on my back and let me carry it, because the story is not doing all the work it should. I'm giving it a 6.
I gave it a 7 because it's canon. And I think I know where the sniper bullet's going. Gary, which movie do you think had a better story, Red Sun or Assassination?
Well, the funny thing is, I got to fire the sniper bullet at the thing I like the most. So I will be firing it in the direction of Red Sun.
So you would use a bullet for an assassination, but you got to fire it at it's confusing. I got you. +1 for Red Sun. I got it.
We didn't fully think it through, and we thought it's a concept.
We don't know what we're doing. That's the end of round 1.
What do? We die.
All right. Well, I'll pick it up for round 2, and we're going to talk about the protagonists, the heroes. And we have a couple good ones on Red Sun. I'll go ahead and let Gary start talking about what he thought of Charles Bronson and Toshiro.
Yeah, I would go to say, like, what you guys were saying about how it's probably the precursor to the Rush Hour movies. Classic, East meets West, fish out of water, buddy cop. You had a real chemistry that evolved naturally. And Charles Bronson here, his character is essentially an anti-hero. He is an outlaw. He is a ne'er-do-well. He's a train robber. He's not bloodthirsty. That's for obviously the villain section. So there is some weird code of thieves. I wouldn't call it a code of honor that he has, but he's very practical. He is a man that has a task to do, which is rob a train in the opening of the movie. And that's all he wants to do. And he takes almost no pleasure in doing it. It's almost like, this is my job. This is what I do. You guys are bankers. You guys deliver, swords as diplomats. You're the army and that you protect people, but I'm here to rob the train. and it's like just another job. And then Toshiro as the guard samurai, even explaining in the story that he is among the last of the samurai in Japan, just an immense presence. He brought just a visage. He was captivating on screen. He's quiet. He's purpose driven as well. He's there to retrieve the sword, but they're different enough, but alike enough where, they're after the same thing. They're after different things initially. Charles's character is going after the gold. Toshiro's character is going after the sword, but they find common ground, and the ability of Charles's character to actually grow and have a true character arc. I was really impressed with it. He's not a real good guy at the end of the movie, but he has made peace with his compatriot and completes his mission.
Yeah, well said. I mean, there were two very unique characters that along their journey find this kind of mutual respect along the way. Jared, what are your thoughts?
Largely agree with Gary. The only thing I'll add is I think it's best when you have sort of the buddy cop or the buddy whatever genre picture where they're two very different people. Because of the time they spend around each other and the lessons they learn from each other, that one or both develop in a way. And that's exactly what Gary was saying. You get a real arc, especially with Charlie Bronson's character. I won't reveal my score yet, but I had a score in mind all the way up to the very end. And then it got a +1. And soon he was like, the Alain Delon character, Ghost, was like, you kill me, you don't get the gold. And I don't think Charlie said it, but it was basically like, it ain't about the gold anymore, buddy. And just lays him out. Like, no, you killed my friend. So long. I don't care. Money don't matter. And I was like, +1. That was cool. That was really cool. So, yeah, it ends up being this mismatched pair. They end up becoming friends, or at least respect one another. Fantastic. Look for a high score for me.
All right. Well, let's move it on over to Assassination. And Gary,
10. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait your turn. Wait for it. Gary, what are your thoughts on Chucky B in Assassination?
Charlie Bronson, being Killian, it was actually, as a hero, it felt natural. I liked him in the movie. I think he played the part very well. It seemed like, he's kind of stuck in the movie as like, answering to superiors. He felt like, I come from a manufacturer, so he'd be like a foreman. He's like not executive level. He's not in management, but he's like
middle management.
No, I wouldn't say middle management. He's like the go-to guy. It's like, you're the guy. We trust you to take care of protecting the first lady. And he had procedures. He had backups. He had things to ensure her safety. And I think overall, as a hero, he was pretty competent. So I think the characterization of Killian was actually very good.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said earlier, I think his acting and his character, for me, were one of the highlights of this film. But I'll let Jared pick it up from there and see what you got to say, Jared.
Largely agree. Again, it's the Charlie Bronson show, and it's a good one. At a time, especially in the 80s, where they have this very brash female lead that's butting heads with him. But like, they take their shots, and there's some funny bits and things that he says to kind of take her down a peg or two every once in a while. But he's never cruel or mean. Like, imagine Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry was put on this task. He would have been so mean to her. And
don't know what happened. She got shot. It's a 44 Magnum bullet we dug out of her head.
We don't know who it was from.
Wow. Could have been anybody.
I'm just talking like verbally. Like, it would have been a different thing. Like, he's on that edge of that strong, masculine, don't take any crap, but he's also a professional. And I think that's where it is good. And I really liked Charlie, his lady friend. I thought she was great. Like, she wanted nothing more than to sleep with him. And he was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, what are you doing, Charlie? Like,
got to keep it professional.
I was like, dude, this woman's like showing up at his house and making him breakfast and stuff. All this. I'm like, you got a 100% keeper here. In fact, I was mad when they started flirting with the idea of him and the first lady. I was like, nah, but I don't know they ended up necessarily together.
Yeah, I guess the possibilities were still there for both Charlie and
listen, I'm team Charlie all the way. And I mean the lady Charlie, not Charles Brown. You know what I mean?
Anyways. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just thought she was an enhancement. Like, I thought she was good. I was like, I like this character. And the one person you could trust and all that stuff. But she wasn't in it enough. But anyway, I liked old CB in this one quite a bit.
I want to point out before we get into scoring, I want to say Charlie
Female.
Killian's girlfriend.
Right.
She was actually like a good coworker because she was breaking his balls. Like, you're not falling for the first lady, are you? And like, she was
good coworker / jealous girlfriend. But also in a very professional way. Like, whoever was writing this was doing a good job. Like, I like what you said there, Gary. Everything had a bit of professionalism to it, where it could have just got zany and weird. But it's canon, so I love it. So it's a 10. Oh, we're not scoring. Not yet.
Not yet. Almost. You have good points all around. Speaking of points, let's go ahead and score them. And Jared, what are you going to give the heroes for Red Sun?
Well, I was sad. We warned you about spoilers, folks. I was sad that Toshiro did not make it. But like I said, I liked that moment. Like, I was like, score's taking a dip. But when he was like, no, it ain't about the money anymore, and he just laid it down, I was like, yes, 8. Solid 8.
Wow, match game number 2 off of Red Sun. I thought I was going to come into this liking it a little bit more than you did. So this was a little bit of a surprise.
I'm a Red Sun guy. That's what I found out through doing the show.
Me too. This is a must own for me now. What about the hero for Assassination?
I liked him every bit as much as I liked Roger Moore in A View to a Kill, so he gets a 7.
I think he was about the same age as Roger Moore in A View to a Kill, too. But match game number 3 got a 7 for me as well. Like I said, I think this is probably the strongest aspect for Assassination. But Gary, it's your turn, sir. Who's getting the bullet?
I agree with you, Jason. This is probably one of the strongest parts of Assassination. They did a really good job characterizing the hero in Assassination, but they also did a great job in Red Sun. I just prefer the character in Red Sun, so the bullet is going over to add to Red Sun's total.
Ooh, Red Sun's starting to run away with it with the sniper bullets. A little distance there.
I'm going to adjust my scores here. Hang on.
Just pretend like Red Sun was canon.
It's not even the film that I picked either. I just love canon films.
All right. That'll wrap up round 2, and I'll pass it over to you.
All right. Round 3.
Tiger uppercut.
Round 3 is the villain. How menacing or entertaining is your villain? And this time, Jason gets to talk first about old Gauche over there in Red Sun. Alain Delon, French train robber. You just can't trust him.
I know, man. I gotta say, I liked him. I thought he was kind of the opposite of everything that Charlie Bronson brought to that team, except in the cleverness category. You know, where Charles Bronson was kind of rough and gruff, he's refined. He wears his suits. His hair's never out of place. He's handsome. He's young. You know, he's got a sharp mind. Dangerous with the weapon. We kind of talk about this with Bond villains. Like, is your villain somebody that's both mentally and physically a challenge for your hero? And I'd say yes and yes. And then what really made him interesting for me was in that final act when they're fighting at the mission, like, and then they have to come together to survive that Comanche attack. And you see his ability on full display during that fight. And you're like, wow, this guy's got some stuff, man. He's got some moxie. So, I mean, you know, is he Max Zorin from A View to a Kill? Well, come on. No, nobody's that. But he's not far off, man. He's pretty doggone good. So he'll get a decent score from me.
Gary, thoughts on him and his sweet, sweet fingerless glove so he could fire with greater accuracy?
Yeah. I've been trying since I watched the movie to figure out how I can make a how gauche joke. But that's...
You still cooking that, are you?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. But I really agree with Jason.
Here we go. Who are you going to call? Gauche Busters.
Please proceed, Gary.
Yeah, for all the reasons Jason just talked about, he was the bloodthirsty killer in the train robbery crew. He played it very well. He was evil. They try to humanize him with Ursula Andress's character, which I was happy to see. But
it's all part of spectacle, my friend.
But even though they try to humanize him, which I think was actually one of the weaker points of that, mentioning that he's like a womanizer in some respects, that's really one area I would have liked a little bit more with creating him as the villain. Overall, though, he was just a bad guy. He really was bloodthirsty. He was greedy. He didn't present redeeming qualities at all. He was a great black hat in this movie.
Very cool. Thank you, Gary. And I agree with you guys, man. I knew this guy from a film we covered on James Bond versus spy movies on our Magic Secret podcast. He's in a movie called Scorpio, Burt Lancaster, like a spy versus spy thing. He's pretty good in it. And he's kind of the same way. He's slick. It's cool, but he's kind of a shell of a man. Let's go to Assassination. So I'm not excited about this one. It's got my lowest score all on the whole page. But you know what? Let's find out what Jason thinks about the villainy of Assassination.
I think if there's a common theme with Assassination, it's unmet potential. I remember at the beginning when they were telling the story and they were kind of introducing the villain in that briefing, and they talked about, hey, this is a terrorist, a former kind of like special forces soldier that Charlie Bronson's character's gone up against before. And he had like this cell of 11 guys. And I'm like, oh, this would be cool. It's like, 11 guys versus Charles Bronson. And I'm sure there's going to be a cool backstory between them. And we'll get something kind of like what we had with Red Sun, and I got nothing. He just is a bad guy that shows up at, about once every 20, 30 minutes when something needs to happen. And, when he dies in the end, it's not very fulfilling. I mean, it's just
My man showed up with like a remote control boat and a jet ski, I think.
I know. Remote control boat full of dynamite. Like he's carrying the boat.
Wile E. Coyote?
No. It just needed the Acme on the side,
Hell.
Yeah. So, again, just so much more you could have done with that character. And I have a sneaking suspicion if we saw the original script and they had a full budget, then maybe we would have got more. But unfortunately, we got what we got, and the score is going to reflect it.
Yeah, I'll jump in before I turn over to Gary, leaving him nothing to speak about. But like this guy was like super free. Like I can't even picture him in my mind right now. Like the only villain in the movie that I can remember is I think he was a senator or secretary. The guy was pulling the strings,
Wasn't it the chief of staff?
Sure, whatever. I can picture him in my mind, but the main physical threat, nope, can't remember him. Gary, what do you got, man?
The quote unquote main bad guy, the tool of the chief of staff, was unremarkable. He was really just a plot device in this movie. And like I said, the chief of staff is really the main villain. And I actually liked his death better when he got pushed out of the elevator.
All right, let's go back and score these. Red Sun, Jason, we had Mr. Ghosh, 1 to 10.
7. I thought he was above average. He's not Hans Gruber or Darth Vader, but he's pretty doggone good. Above average for me. 7.
Match game number 4. So Gary has to hope we don't match for the rest of the show. Let's go to Assassination from 1987. And it's whoever, what'd you give him?
Whoever's getting a 5.
Match game number 5, by the way. I was like, you got us through. Sure. Weakest point of the whole thing. And, I want to point out another canon film, Invasion USA. It's been on the show before. Bad guy was played by David Lynch. They had a history together. They had a past. There was like 2 or 3 short scenes that showed their past that fulfilled expectation. 2 or 3 short scenes. Yeah. All you needed.
Yeah, and if it reminded you a little bit of Invasion USA, that's because they used the same music in the title opener.
Well done, Jason. Well done. Gary, I can only assume you're giving your sniper bullet to Assassination out of pity at this point, or no? What are you going to do?
It would be gauche of me if I didn't give the bullet to Red Sun.
I hate this episode so much. That's the end of round 3.
I'm going to kill them all, sir.
Now we're getting into round 4, which is the fun stuff. That's the overall spectacle. We're talking about the things that make a fun action movie, the stunts, the effects, the cinematography, theme song, all the things. Blows them up, bullets flying. What did you think, Jared, on the spectacle of Red Sun?
Good. Very, very good. Loved the cinematography a lot. Especially noticed that I felt like Terrence Young immersed himself a bit in Japanese cinema, especially at the end in the tall grass, keeping the focus in that tall grass. Whoever the guy, there's a guy, by the way, on almost every movie set who's a focus puller. His whole job is to keep the leads. But that guy earned his money on that set. They had grass, they had flames, they had to keep the focus on the right thing. And it all looks so good. And that's just that one part. It's like Terrence understood the assignment. He's like, I got a Western that's also an Eastern, right? So you get the snowy mountains that are just gorgeous. Like he captures the beauty. And then he captures that tall grass, that very Kurosawa. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Feel towards the end in that high grass. I was like, this Terrence is like, he's in his bag. So it looks great. Plus Ursula Andress, who's at this point 9 years on from Dr. No and hasn't lost a step. Gorgeous. Oh, by the way, the other gal who was running the house of Madams there, gorgeous. Like they did. I don't think Terrence Young was ever going to skip on the gorgeous in any of his movies. But yeah, what else can I? You know what? There's other things I could say, but I'll stick with cinematography. Beautiful ladies, beautiful landscapes, and I'll leave. There's more, but I'll leave it for you and Gary.
To add, I thought the set building was fantastic. The props guys, the costuming, and like I said, everything felt real. I was really amazed because that's something, you know, I've seen a couple of films where I get pulled out and it's like, oh yeah, I see how they did this. That looks cheap. That looks
no
fake.
Muzzle flash. Oh, we're not there yet.
Wait for it.
But just the world building in this and just feeling like when I rented this from Apple, like it was just very pleasing to the eye. And like you said, the cinematography just draws you in. Just the overall, it felt like it transported me into the 1870s, and I'm just along for the ride at this point. It was just so immersive.
Yeah, that's well said. I think you both nailed it. I like your example of the East and West, kind of the blending together. And it's Terrence Young, man. Like he knows his assignment. He knows what he's doing. He's all about the business. But let's roll it over and talk a little bit about Assassination. And Jared, why don't you let me know what you're thinking about the spectacle on Assassination?
It's admittedly special place in my heart for Canon films. We've covered that here and on other shows. And so I got a good score for it because when I pop in a 1987 Canon film, this is what I hope for. It's like I almost want to. Oh, I don't know. I want a borderline bad movie that somehow wins me over every time, and that is Assassination. It's got a lot of fun gunplay. It's got a lot of fun stunt work. It's got a guy with a remote control bow that's got dynamite on it. It's like, what in the world? And that's kind of I'm glad I just said that. That's kind of what I want to say. At least at some point in the Canon film, like what in the world? But I want to still have fun with it. So it has a high energy to it. It's fun to watch. It's a romp to go on. I agree with what Gary said about way back in like story. It feels cobbled together, but all the little cobbled together pieces are kind of fun. So yeah, I like it.
I gotta say though, when I saw that boat full of dynamite coming up, and then that dynamite never exploded at the end, I was like, they ran out of money. They couldn't even blow up that dynamite.
It fits your unfulfilled potential theory.
I mean, just again, Exhibit C, Your Honor.
And,
anyway,
goes the dynamite.
Not my time to air grievances. It's up to Gary. What did you think of the spectacle on Assassination?
Well, I'll start off with during that gunfight with the dynamite on the remote control boat, you can just play yakety sax over that scene.
And when was the last person going to go like, I'm not running to the end of that dock and getting shot up? They just 1, 2, 3.
All right. Anyway, as a movie where, you know, you got another odd couple, you got Killian transporting the First Lady across country in planes, trains, and automobile style. It was okay. Obviously, the cinematography wasn't on the same level as Red Son, but it really tried. It was definitely, you know, you felt the budget, unfortunately, but you could tell that they really tried to do the most they could with what they had. But the other thing too is, like Jared said earlier, or maybe it was you, Jason, it's the bones of a political thriller where the spectacle needs to be in the tension in the movie, where, you know, you're really caught up in that and you're trying to play the chess game of, you know, who's doing what, where are they now? Or the other way is to basically be like in Clue, like who killed, you know, the butler in the bedroom. And that's what you're supposed to be focused on, or that's what's supposed to be drawing you in. And unfortunately, in that respect, I felt it fell a little flat, but you could definitely see the effort was there to have the spectacle. And that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, I think that's well said. To me, where the spectacle worked the most is like on that train scene where there's that tension of are they going to get caught and they've got to sneak off the train. So you didn't really need the big budget spectacle. You just needed good acting from both of the characters of the protagonist and the antagonist that was chasing them on the train. And I thought they did well there. But I think it's time to wrap this up and let's put some scores on them. And Jared, what are you going to give the score for spectacle for Red Sun?
I'm going to give it an 8. I really think Terrence did a wonderful job on that. The only thing I might have changed is to tweak, like the only thing keeping it from like a 9 or a 10 for me is a little bit of, a lot of Westerns fall into this, a little bit of In Love with Your Own cinematography, so the pacing kind of slows down. I feel like they could have picked up the pace a little bit. Didn't need to be an hour 54. Could have been hour 40, I think. But the man put together a solid 8. So good for him.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, because I saw that hour and 55 minutes when I put that movie on. I was like, oh, God dang it. We're going to see 30 minutes of people on horseback.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It seemed like it did all right for me. And oh, by the way, match game, because I gave it an 8 as well. All right, let's move it over to Assassination. I have a feeling we're going to get some mercy points from Jared, but let's see where he lands.
I got it at a 7. That's what I expect from Canon, and it gave me what I expected. It didn't exceed. It's no Ninja 3 The Domination, which gave us more spectacle than we could handle, right? But I'll give it a 7.
Oh, Jared, you cannot leave 4 tons of dynamite floating in the harbor and not blow it up in some fashion and get a 7. It gets a 6 for me. All right, Gary, it's up to you. Are you going to mercy bullet for Assassination, or Red Sun going to run the table?
I am tempted to fire the bullet to finally explode that dynamite.
This is spelled dynamite, MIGHT.
Dynamaybe.
Oh, Lord, help us.
But I am going to continue to put that bullet over in Red Sun's corner and hoping that the cartridge will eject and maybe relight those fuses on Assassination.
All right. Well, that wraps up the overall spectacle. And then we'll pass it over to Jared, who will pass it over back to me here momentarily.
That's right. It's time for round 5.
Don't force me to fight, because you won't like my way of fighting.
Round 5 is the best action scene. Jason's going to break down these scenes. We're going to pick our favorites. We're going to score them. You guys know how it works. Jason, let's look at Red Sun, 1971. What do you got?
All right. Let's see here. Turns out I forgot a scene. I'll have to throw it in here along the way. But we'll start with the train robbery, or I called that one the OG bullet train.
Hey. All right. It's formerly featured on Action Film Face Off.
Because there were bullets.
Right, but there's another movie called Bullet Train.
Right, yeah.
And we covered it on the show.
I'm just saying I didn't get the laughs I thought I was going to get off of that one. I thought that was clever.
We'll let you build to something.
All right. All right. The second one was when they steal the horses at that Mexican household. I called that one Let's Split.
It's because he split that guy with a sword.
Split that guy in half.
All right, you're picking him up. I got
All right. Yep. The third one, this is the one I forgot, but it's the shootout of the Hotel Maxine. So I called that one, what was it that they kept saying? Like, enjoy the hospitality of the Hotel Maxine. The fourth one was when they had to rescue Ursula Andress, Christina from the Comanches. or I called that one Trail of Tears Starts Here.
Oh,
The insensitivity's ramping up. I love it.
too soon.
Too soon. All right. And then there's the final battle, or I called that one Men on a Mission.
Like it. Which one's your favorite action scene, Jason?
Gotta go with that final battle, man. So many things happened. You had the good guys fighting the bad guys, then they had to fight the Comanches, and they had to fight each other. It was great. Somewhere along the line, you had Professor Dent got shot in the back with an arrow. Our samurai hero shooting arrows, standing on Charlie Bronson's shoulders. It was awesome.
It was good. I actually liked the second one. Let's Split. I like that one a lot. I like that. It's extra fun when you get to kill the really skeevy guys, looking for their daughters and gross. And
yeah.
And it was kind of the first time they started working together, which had that little bit of a feel good. I liked it.
No,
Gary, what was your favorite action scene, Gary?
I'm going to go with the first scene, the train robbery. I thought that was amazing. Very well done. It's my favorite, but I would say it's not the best. I do agree that the last action scene is the best one, but it's not my favorite. I just love a good train robbery.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with a good train robbery.
All right.
Nothing wrong with any of these choices.
No. All right, Jason, let's go to Assassination 1987 and break it down.
All right. Well, I really only had 3 action scenes in here. I mean, there were a couple little explosions and stuff along the way, but the big 3 were really, the first one is when they use the helicopter decoy and they encounter that one guy kind of like at the farmhouse and they start like shooting law rock. I don't know why he was carrying a law rocket in there, but
1987 canon.
We'll just say canon. Yeah. So I called that one, you brought a gun to a law fight.
I like it.
The second one was kind of that train tension scene that I mentioned, followed by the motorcycle chase when they steal the motorcycles and get chased by the guy in the truck. I called that one, Someone's on the Wrong Track.
It's just, these are improving. I like them.
Okay. All right.
These are good.
The third one, for reasons we've already discussed, the final battle. All right. And this is a shout out to the Lonely Island boys. I'm on a boat.
I can't fault you on that. Which one did you like the best?
I think I'm going to go with the train tension scene followed by the motorcycle chase.
Not bad.
Stitch those two together.
Not bad. Gary?
I'm going to go with the train scene. That's about it.
There's a theme here for Gary. Gary likes his trains.
He likes trains. Yeah.
But I will say that some of the action scenes, especially the one where the hitman is following them on the pickup truck and they're on the motorcycles going on the tracks, the speed felt so slow. Felt like I was watching the Book of Boba Fett on the world's slowest chase scene. I'm a huge fan of chase scenes. Yeah, that's why I'm going with the train scene again.
All right, I'll rock it with the. I wasn't even trying for that one. I will rock it with the law rocket scene. I like that one.
I think they used all their budget when they blew that barn up.
I think that's why I like it. Like, this is clearly the point where the budget ran out, whatever. But yeah, I thought that was fun. It was very 80s and very canon. And that's the way. I like it. KC and the Sunshine Band. All right, let's go back and score these things. Jason, Red Sun, you like the end scene to tune of?
7. I think they were all kind of 7s across the board and lots of 7s.
Yep, same 7. So that's match game number. I don't know. I'll tell you guys later. I don't want to count. We do the math. We just don't do it on demand. All right, over on Assassination. Score it.
Had to give that one a 6 again. And I think I'm even bumping that up for canon. You can't just leave the dynamite in the water, man.
And that's the final match game, which is 8 match game. Yeah, it's 8 match games for us to, but I'll recap that later. Anyways, Gary, which one of these movies had better action scenes for you? I think we're going clean sweep on Red Sun, but you tell me, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be a clean sweep. Red Sun again on the better action scenes.
There you go. That's the end of round 5.
You could ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
All right. Well, now it's time for the deduction round. And Jared, I just got to ask, because it was kind of late and I don't know if I saw what I thought I saw. I'll just ask. In the final battle at the mission in Red Sun, Professor Dent got shot in the back, right? With the arrow?
I think so.
And he died. But then I thought I saw him out in the sugar cane and when they were making that defensive perimeter.
I may have been too busy looking at my notes.
Okay.
You're right. I'm not sure. Could be an editing error, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll just let it go. I'll just say I'm not going to take anything off from either.
Interestingly enough, I almost did for Assassination in my very favorite scene where they blew up the barn and law rockets and all this. There was a scene where like Charlie Bronson got on the motorbike and then like from a certain angle, I was like, that is clearly not him. Like that is the worst stuntman. But then I was like, there might be a second guy on his team on a second bike and they're just dressed alike. I felt like that idea was played with, that maybe they were both in one shot. It was weird. I didn't like the editing there, but I'm not going to take anything off of it. I already gave the scene a 6. It's going to sit at its 6. So I'm good. No deductions from me for either film.
Yeah, no, I think, with the Professor Dent thing, if I don't have any evidence, I'll just have to go to the table.
His real name is Anthony Dawson, just so everybody knows.
Nah, it's Professor Dent, and he's had his 6.
Jason, you probably know this. I'm probably just talking to the microphone at this point, but that guy, Anthony Dawson, he played Blofeld's hands for like the next couple of movies.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that. Yeah.
It's the hands of Blofeld before we ever see his face. So yeah, he gets around him and Terrence Young. Terrence finds work for that man.
Okay, well, I'm not taking any points off for either movie, and you're not taking points off, right? Then we're done here.
All right, then. That's the end of our official rounds. Don't worry if you haven't been keeping up with the scores at home, folks. We do the math for you here at Action Film Face Off. A quick recap. If you guessed 8 match games, you guessed right. So, yeah, a lot of match games on this one. And if you guessed that Gary was going to give all 5 of his sniper bullets to Red Sun, you would have guessed that right, too. It's a clean sweep for Red Sun for Gary on this one. And looking at the judges' scorecards, the winner of this episode of Action Film Face Off with a score of 81 to 62 is Red Sun.
All right. Well, congratulations to Red Sun. Now let's head over to the randomizer and find out what the years are going to be for our next episode. My brother Jared will be pulling a film from
Choose Your Destiny.
1981. And I will bring a film from
Choose Your Destiny.
1999. What will those films be? Well, we'll tease them on social media for those of you who want to watch before listening. And we're always thinking of you, Dave. Or you can tune in next episode to find out. Till then, I'm Jason Weasel Skull Ulbrich, and you can find me on social media at Jason Ulbrich on Instagram.
And you can find me, Jared Ulbrich, the Yard Sale Artist, a.k.a. Death Probe, at Yard Sale Artist, X, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist. Be sure to check out all the shows under the Longbox Crusade umbrella by subscribing to Longbox Crusade on all the finer podcatchers out there and on YouTube, or you can go direct to www.longboxcrusade.com. And if you'd like to send a question or a comment, you can do that by hitting us up on social media at Longbox Crusade. That's X, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, Skip, Scap, and Skabobble. And over on X, we actually have a targeted account too. It's at AFFO Podcast, and you can chat with us directly over there. And you want to chat directly, you can leave us a voicemail at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
And before we get out of here, let's find out where we can find Gary. Gary, tell people where they can find you.
All right. I'm Gary. I'm the host of the Chaplain Sisters Motor Pod, a podcast about the vehicles, playsets, and even trailers of G.I. Joe. I can be found all over social media at Chaplain Joe Pod and on YouTube as Chaplain Sisters Motor Pod. And if you want to listen to the podcast, you can find it on all your favorite popular podcatchers.
And I endorse it. I listen to it, and I like it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody out there. We appreciate you listening. Until next episode, keep your head down
and your knuckles up.
From the finest
The intro and outro theme to this show and all of our Action Film Face-Off shows are done by musical genius Joe November. Check out his SoundCloud at JOSEFLIN99. You will not regret it.
All right, so how many takes do I get?
Just one. Good luck.
All right.
Go for it. Just own it, man. It's your birthday. Be a birthday boy.
It's
Be
your
a birthday man.
The Longbox. Oh, wow.
Yep. Jason, you're on. Probably Telephone was probably. What? Maybe?
No.
Hard to say.
Maybe The Great Escape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really a mediocre escape at best. That was false advertising.
+2. +2.
If this was live, we'd have like the time for a station break, the little thing comes up and it's my round, isn't it? I got lost.
It is, yes.
Try this again.
There was also something I saw in the script earlier up in the page that was probably glossed over, but you could say the president has some unmet potential himself, which causes the first lady to leave.
He was impotent.
Yes, it's true. This man has no. That's what I heard. All right, let's double back and score them.
Ghostbusters.
Now I gotta put all the outtakes. Damn it. Give me more work to do. It's gonna be the longest edit I've ever had. All right, let's go back.
And Assassination just limping along.
That's what she said.
Gary just didn't let it fade either. He had to take a swing at it.
Keep
playing musical chairs at this point, guys.
I hate you guys so much. I don't want to edit this episode.
Before I give my favorite action scene, Jared, you're probably going to have to edit this, but I'm really surprised Jared or Jason didn't go with for the fifth action scene.
I hate this show and I hate all you. Jason, you mute that key pounding.
Oh. She's gonna blow him away.
You're supposed to let me finish it off.
And Jared, I want you to know that you are not a weirdo.
Jared, you are a weirdo.